Is this for the environmental concern?
They gotta be recycled.
Now let me get Pop's point of view on this. Hey, the debate's over, Pop.
Debate isn't over. Debate has not begun.
Well,
the real debate has not begun.
I'm telling you, Dad, they gotta be recycled.
Now, Patty, the real problem is not recycling. The real problem is that they were overproducing the materials and equipment that people really don't need.
You want to get Glennie's opinion on this?
I mean, if the millionaires in this country would...
What about all that expensive packaging that they use?
Well, that's part of the millionaire's game. They got to package your products that you purchase.
How much it costs them to make a bag like this? With all the colors and all the dyes?
Well, what are they going to hand you, potato chips in your hand to take home?
Toxic waste that goes into
They're going to give you the potato chips in your hand?
But it's a plastic bag. What else?
They have to put it in the bag, yes, but it won't stay fresh.
Put them in a plastic bag. Everything stays
No.
fresh in plastic.
No, that's not the answer.
What do you think this is? But even this bag has got all kinds of ink and junk on it.
What's wrong with the ink? That's non-pollutant ink. That's made from vegetable products.
That's red dye number 3.
That's made from red. No,
and it gets in the water system.
Stop stealing my newspapers now.
You gotta recycle that stuff.
That's going down to the dump and thrown in the dump.
That's going to go lay in a pile somewhere,
no,
probably up on Richmond Street.
No, it isn't. That's going to get burned.
And dirty up the environment.
That's going to get burned and returned up into the atmosphere.
And destroy the ozone layer even further.
Newspapers never destroyed the ozone layer. Get these spaghettis here.
Pop.
Do you know how many years it takes for a can? It takes a century for that to do anything.
Hey, let's forget about this environmental problem. Give me a spaghettis and
get these spaghettis
and meatballs, Bob.
Get these meatballs.
Yeah, that's the real issue.
That's the real issue. We're going to
cut your trash down in
wait a minute, Patty. We're going to recycle these. We're going to recycle these spaghettis and meatballs.
Oh, you like taking those big trash bags down to the dump, don't you?
Doesn't bother me one bit. I either take them to the dump.
And do you know how much gas it costs you to hoard that, take that old van out?
Pat, you got to remember if
big heavy van and drive it down the road there to the dump.
Pat, you got to remember.
That's a waste of energy as well.
Well, I could let the trash sit out in the yard and let the bugs get to it.
Well, if you would recycle a lot of your stuff, then you wouldn't have so much trash.
I could let the rats, bats,
you would
and
save
cats.
on trash
If
bags,
you leave it out there, the trash man's just going to pick it up.
You would save gas.
Do you know that cigarette is polluting the environment?
It isn't polluting the environment.
Well, then why don't you quit smoking?
It's not polluting the environment. This breaks down.
Do you know that that's infecting your lungs and giving you emphysema and heart disease?
That's worse for other people.
That's worse. Smoking that cigarette is worse than throwing that tin can in the trash. So what kind of crusade are you leading? You're a hypocrite. You're an environmental hypocrite.
This is great. This is better than CROSSFIRE.
You're an environmental hypocrite because on one hand you're telling me save your cans, bottles, and papers, and on the other can you're smoking and you're killing yourself. And you're killing yourself with cigarettes while you're saving the environment. Now, what do you say about that? What's your rebuttal about that?
You're talking about pennies and dollars.
No, we're not. Why are you concerned about the atmosphere? Because you're afraid that eventually you're going to die on this earth from the environmental hazards?
I'm thinking about the children, Dad.
Oh, the children?
The future generations.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Oh, well, then this condition isn't going to be present until the future generations?
It's going to be present in the next century.
Well, then you're going to be a part of it.
We only have about 10 more years to live in this stable environment. In the next 10 years, it's not going to be stable.
Then you're going to be adversely...
Everything's going to be in turmoil.
Then your physical condition
is... in turmoil now.
Will you give me a chance to speak?
Now.
Now, I came on this program with the permission to exercise my opinions. Now, if you're not going to give me a chance to speak, I'm going to leave this show.
Last year we had drought conditions. This year we had all this rain.
Do you think that's the first drought? Did you ever watch the movie The Grapes of Wrath and see a real drought condition across the plain states, across Kansas, Missouri?
They had droughts back in the Bible.
Droughts are nothing new in this country.
They live
Neither are tornadoes. Neither are hurricanes. Did you ever watch the movie, The Hurricane of Hawaii, where the hurricane swept across the aisle and wiped out everything?
Tommy, shut that. Please shut that off.
Yeah.
You see, Patty, you can't rebut my statements. I have facts. You're being concerned for nothing.
Save by recycling your newspaper. Come on, stop it. Next time I won't finish it. Let me go on to something I can play. I can play that I think is better, then I'll let you have something.
Well, I'll get you another time.
No, that's all right.
If the government don't stop them people, why is a little person like you worried about recycling 2 pound of newspapers to save the environment when the millionaires and the billionaires and the Washington, D.C. and the politicians are cutting down every tree that they can get their saw on to make more newspapers, and you're worried about recycling 5 pound of newspapers to save the environment? Now, whose problem is it?
Of course they want the masses.
Whose problem is it?
They want the masses to,
They want the masses to save their problems that they've created. And you know what I say?
Exactly.
I say, if you created those problems, you solve them. I'm not solving them. I didn't chop down those trees. I didn't create the environmental hazards. I didn't do that by drinking a can of beer and throwing a can in the trash or reading the newspaper. That's not my problem. If you don't want me to throw this in the trash, don't make it.
Hey, Pop.
Don't make a newspaper and I won't buy it.
Pop, can I have some of that?
Spaghetti will be ready in a second, as soon as we get the debate.
Thanks, Pop.
We're into a very rigorous debate here.
Concerning environmental concerns.
And we have to solve the environmental conditions, poor conditions that exist across the world. Because eventually, you know, this condition will be passed on to the new generation of children. 40 years down the road, the children will all be born like this from environmental hazards. I was born, I didn't recycle my papers.
I'm gonna have to edit that.
People cannot solve the environmental hazards that exist in the world today. People can't do it. Only industrial companies can do it. Industry can do it, but people can't do it.
You know, it's
I can't solve that condition of the erosion
Hey,
of
Pop.
the ionosphere.
it's kind of like a world upside down.
Kind of like a world upside down, but I can't have no impact on solving the poor environmental conditions. Only industrial giants who create these problems. Because I didn't create what are these cups made out of? These coffee cups?
Styrofoam.
I didn't create styrofoam. And I didn't create...
It's a shame you did. We'd be living a lot richer than this.
And I didn't create plastic. And I didn't create paper. They created it. And now they're saying, oh, we created this monster, and now it's going to kill us all. Well, if you created it,
you use it.
And it's a hazard, then it's your responsibility to kill it.
If you're going to use these products, then you should learn to recycle them and to dispose of them properly.
I can't kill plastic, and I can't kill aluminum, and I can't kill styrofoam, and I can't kill newspapers. Only the industrial giants who created those things can stop it. I can't stop it.
All right, say they passed a law you had to do this. Now, would you obey according to the law?
Well,
or would
let's put it this way. They created a law. The speed limit on the highways are 55 miles an hour. I never drive 55 miles an hour on a highway.
Then you're breaking the law.
Then I'm breaking the law, and so is everyone else on the highway. So now you're going to create a law that says you can't throw your plastic containers in the trash. Well, are people all going to drive 55 miles an hour? No. They're still going to throw their plastic containers in the trash. So how do you solve that problem? How do you solve the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on the highways? And how do you solve the styrofoam? Well, then they should eliminate.
Speed limit is too high.
They should take all the cars off the road, and nobody would have to worry about it. And they should reduce. They should eliminate.
Cars are too big.
Go back to bikes.
Cars are made too big.
Go back to bikes.
That's what they did in Seattle.
How often do you see people riding around in these 4-seaters and 5-seater cars?
Go back to styrofoam.
Sitting in the back seat.
Eliminate styrofoam containers.
Here, Pop. Give me that
Eliminate.
fork.
You gonna eat now, Tom?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right, I'll get you a dish. No, I'll put it right in the dish for you.
Look at this expensive packaging here, Dad. I mean, it has this big bright picture on here, and everything's done in fancy lettering and colors, and this nice plastic container. It's got a really
Well, that's why we got it. We didn't get it for the oregano.
Plastic lid, and yeah. I mean, is this really necessary?
Well, if you have to use oregano, how else would you get it if they don't?
Look at this. It's not a plain bottle or plastic container. It's got to be yellow with a brown wrapper, and
Well, what's wrong with that?
it's waste. It's wasteful.
She's right, you know.
In some ways she's right, but in a lot of ways she's wrong.
They even had an article in the, did you see it in the Inquirer last week about clothes and how people are going to just wear the same type of clothing? They're not going to change their clothing.
Well,
They're not going to buy all different types of outfits.
I read it. I read it.
People have too many clothes.
Well,
they don't even wear all the clothes
see
they have.
See, we're right back to where I said before. If you don't want cars to travel 55 miles an hour, take the cars off the road. If you don't want people to throw their styrofoam containers on the roadside, stop making styrofoam containers. And if you don't want people to change their style every 6 months, which is what they do now, they change from winter to summer to fall to spring. They have different styles of clothing, and people keep buying clothing. Every 4 times a year they go out and buy different kind of clothing, and year after year they keep buying clothing and clothing.
That's the whole thing. The fashion industry is $1 billion industry.
That's because of advertising. That's because of this newspaper. 98% of that newspaper is advertising.
It's a chain.
98% of this is advertising. Here it is right here. Now, do I need to tell you more? Look. 2-day Labor Day sale. Here's a guy here standing here with...
look at that geek.
Look at this geek with his pajamas. Okay, look at all these advertising. Look, here's a lady standing in her bra and pants. New bra and pants,
all right.
Hey, get a shot of that, yeah. Yeah, here's all these guys. Now, this is all advertising. Every 6 months, your styles change. There goes those pump-up sneakers worth $100. Don't wear them. You might get killed. They'll kill you for them.
Yeah, you're right, Pop. 98%.
Stop advertising. 98% is advertising.
Yep.
Sorry, Tom.
It's okay. You coming, Mom?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Pop, we're going to end this debate, okay?
Well, we'll have to...
And as usual, nothing got accomplished.
Nothing was accomplished.
Both sides were
it's the same old...
fixed on their ideas.
Get another dish over there.
Yeah, well, is that done?
Yeah, it's done. It's the same old
This is
story,
good
though.
enough. Just give me a plate.
Pop wasn't budging from his point of view,
It's the same old story.
and
Patty wasn't buzzing for her.
Patty wasn't budging from hers.
Nothing,
This about the environment?
nothing
Yeah.
ventured and nothing gained.
Exactly.
I just need a few spaghettis. I don't need too much.
We ventured, but we didn't gain.
Well, let's venture into some spaghetti.
Patty still needs her Molson Gold recycled, and I will deposit
Molson
this can.
Gold?
Look, get this. I will deposit this can in with her recyclable newspapers so she can recycle them. And in addition to that...
Well, Dad, I think she's right. I think we are going to have to start doing it, so I agree with her.
Oh, we got another point of view here.
Yeah. You agree with me, don't you, Mom? Yes,
See, now that's the only way, Patty... That's the only way you can really solve the environmental problem. Is recycle all your clothes. Don't buy new ones.
Oh, yeah.
Don't buy new ones. That's right.
I don't go along with that.
This here will solve
I'm gonna quit buying.
You know how old this sweatshirt
This here will
is
solve.
I'm wearing?
This will solve the recyclable problem right here. See, if you recycle these and you don't wear them, you know.
I gotta wear them. Are they mine?
Back the trash in a matter of 3 days?
Make a little bit of juice. Just a little bit of juice.
What are you gonna? What's your answer, Pop?
Little bit of bread.
Don't you want a meatball with that?
No, I already ate my meatball.
Don't you want
Yeah,
a roll of butter?
A third of a roll.
Third.
4 bags of trash, Pop?
Yeah.
4 days? That's a bag of trash a day.
That's right.
These spaghettis would be better if they were the real thin spaghettis. Or these thick ones, and I'm not.
Do you know how long it takes me to go through a bag of trash?
Yeah, but you don't have 15 people over your house for a party, like we did.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's fine if you're by yourself.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Most of that stuff that you're using for your parties is recyclable.
Sure was, and I just recycled it. I took it down to the dump and threw it into this trash pit, and I
you would
recycled
cut that
it.
down to at least a bag or two if
And
you
I-
need the recycling.
And I recycled it.
Well, eventually, Patty, recycling is coming to our neighborhood, and eventually we'll be doing just that.
Well, I asked that question a couple of minutes ago. If a law was passed, would Dad obey the law? And he strictly said no.
Oh, yes, he will.
Eh.
He will have to because they'll fine him.
I said I would
Oh.
only.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to make you put it out in clear plastic bags, you know, so
Get
they
this
can
stuff.
see what's in there.
Make
And
sure
you
you
don't
get
put it
this.
in clear plastic bags, they won't take it.
That's
Get all
right.
this. Get Mom on the environmental issues.
And then you know what they'll do to get more
Get
money?
this.
They'll do like they did to Bobby one time.
I'm not gonna have
They'll
too much
look
time
inside
left.
the
Okay,
bag
make
and
sure you
they'll
get
find
this.
out if there's any papers in there with your name and address on it, and if there's something else in the bag that shouldn't be there, then they'll come around
Get
and
this
fine
on
you.
that.
What did he pay that time? $350 fine?
Yeah, 350.
That's right, and that was about how many years ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
What? In parts of Philadelphia, yeah. I think it was my sister Carol.
I never
think she
knew
has
that
to.
Mom was such an environmentalist. But she's quite concerned about the
Well,
long-range conditions.
I've been saying it right along that you have to start
You have to.
dividing your trash. I felt that that's the only way myself.
It's a matter. It's a
It's a
matter.
matter
You
of
have,
opinion, yes, but
Tom, this
my
is for
opinion-
you.
What?
This chocolate.
Oh, okay, yeah. In fact, I'll have that right now.
With your spaghettis?
Oh no, yeah, put it back. Oh, something else.
Yeah, it's the old saying. You either got to sink or swim. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's obvious we've got a lot of different points of views on this. I think Mom shares the same opinions with Patty.
Yeah, I think Mom is just sort of.
But now, if we ask Glennie,
Lenny's an environmentalist. He would.
He separates his trash now.
yeah, Glennie's he's very
He's very neat.
environmentally concerned.
Yeah, he's an environmentalist. He believes that the world's going to collide. That eventually the world will self-destruct.
I don't know if I believe that the world's going to self-destruct, but I believe we're going to make the world a garbage pit if we don't start taking care of our trash. We've got too much of it. I agree. That's what it is.
Who's
There's
spaghetti
just so
do we
many
have here?
people. I mean,
Mine.
you gotta start
You want to film?
practicing in
Why don't you go to eat?
external cleanliness.
Here, Pop, I got to put this away.
We've seen it now. We've heard enough.
We've heard enough of this discussion. Can't we possibly
Yeah.
stop this
Well,
here?
what we'll do, Pop, we'll send this into CROSSFIRE.
I mean, we must somehow unite. We must somehow come to a universal agreement on all these key subjects and sort of unite into one group where we can impact on this problem. Because it's impossible as individual different opinions which have arisen that we will never universally agree and solve this here problem which exists. And eventually we will all be destroyed. Eventually we will all choke on styrofoam cups.
But he was drinking from cups, Pop.
He was pulverized.
He was pouring them in cups.
Well, here's my cup. See? I know I had a cup, a plastic cup, because Patty said make sure you drink my plastic cup because it's environmentally safe.
I think we'll sign off for now on Labor Day.
Sign off for now and you can eat your your spaghetti and meatball dinner, and I can finish my Molson Gold, and maybe the Canadians will have something to do after I drink that case of Molson Gold. I'll have to go to work and
keep drinking that
some more.
That Molson, yeah.
And recycle your papers and your cans and your bottles, and let's all get behind Patty and Mom, and let's solve this problem.
Pull together.
That'll be it. Thank you.